following individuals have signed up for public comment. We will begin with Ms. Carter on special education and the dispute resolution process. Ms. Carter, welcome. Please join us.
Is there a timer for me to view?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Alita-Geri, the mother of 2 disabled children in Prince George's County Public Schools and a non-practicing pediatric nurse practitioner. What about tomorrow? A family's lost joy in their child's sorrow. Another day of existing in a tragedy. A school system that has accepted that it will not live up to the mission of every student succeeds or no child left behind. Behind the data are wounded warriors known as families and teachers who fight with all their might without support and eventually collapse under gaps of what was once a path to a bright future. Who will mend these broken hearts and shattered dreams? Parents treated as less than, in direct opposition to the intention of IDEA's act of the IEP team. Predetermination leads to devastation, the intentional deprivation of meaningful participation. Let's start with the finances, because the problem cannot just be training and staffing. The math is not mathing. We need an audit by an independent, neutral third party now. In fiscal year 2024, there were more than 406 million reasons why special education and disabled children should have received their free appropriate public education. That year, only 14,800 students were reported to receive IDEA services. But wait, conflicts of interest like large investments in litigation to further harm families who hold the burden of proof, entering the system not knowing that their truths don't matter if not documented. The idea of justice is something to be rented to the highest bidder for due process and an inaccessible remedy. Who has $8,000 to $10,000 for lawyers when paying medical bills? Are you kidding me? How many employees in education go home and collect pay from our children's experiences of failure? A down payment to the disability school to prison pipeline or unemployment pipeline. What will you do to change this? Will you retire and ride off into the sun, leaving the futures of our children undone? A system that answers to you without an ounce of enforcement. What else could be done for a system that's been on needs assistance status for more than 3 years? With a high school dropout rate in school year 21-2022 of 16.99% and recently still twice the state average. We ask that you abide by the law as the state education agency required to monitor and enforce compliance according to section 300.41 of IDEA. We are asking that you activate Education Code Article 2-205 to intervene now. We have a petition of nearly 400 signatures, and we want to work collaboratively, but we are asking that you audit hiring processes and the money that doesn't get spent when personnel and vacancies continue to go unfilled. We ask that you audit the funds that do not get spent when students enroll but never attend or attend and withdraw. We ask that you audit the procurement processes to ensure that contracts are following their legal obligations and kickbacks are not being provided. Audit for acts of predetermination and audit for inappropriate use of iReady and DIBELS being used to deny students supports and services because they are not studied as reliable or valid for all students with special education or disability needs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Do we have a copy of the petition?
You should. I actually provided written comment last month and then written comment the month before that. So This is my 3rd time commenting.
Yep. Can you just, Mr. Hands, can you make sure to follow up with Ms. Carter so that we have a fresh copy of that for our review? Thank you very much for your comments. Next, we have Ms. Wooten on special education. Welcome.
I am a mother and a college graduate. I'm also an Iraqi war veteran and a law enforcement professional with over 20 years of experience proudly serving my community and my country. I did not realize that one day my biggest battle in my life would be to fight for the civil rights of my 2 neurodiverse children. My children attend the Prince George's County Public School System, and they are not receiving a free and appropriate public education. I have filed complaints with the Maryland State Department of Education multiple times. I've realized that even after filing complaints, no one tracks the findings to rectify the civil rights violations. How can compliance for civil rights violations get enforced when the supervisors over the compliance offices are not in compliance by the established deadline? A system should be established to ensure each letter of findings in need of compensatory services is monitored until completion. Where is the oversight? After reviewing the Maryland State Department of Education letters of findings covering multiple years, most other counties had 1 to 7 complaints per quarter, while Prince George's County had an average of 25 complaints per quarter. Prince George's County had the most complaints surrounding the special education program. These complaints need to be addressed as a systemic issue. Why is nothing being done? There needs to be an audit on the funds allocated to special education program and a policy written to ensure that these funds are used only for the betterment of special education students. Federal and state laws are not being followed. The special education program is in crisis and needs enforcement immediately. Please conduct a hands-on audit with unbiased auditors that are going to be fair and not show favoritism towards any parties involved. Malpractices need to stop now. Why are tax dollars being used to hire a contracted lawyer to fight against parents who advocate for children when Prince George County has a staff of lawyers paid with taxpayer money already? A few years ago, this lawyer was outcasted by the parents from Montgomery and Howard County Public Schools. The same removal needs to happen in Prince George's County Public Schools. This is fraud, waste, and abuse. Where's the oversight? Many special education staff are not trained or state licensed to handle special needs children. These unqualified teachers are conducting assessments on our children, causing lasting damages. The Human Resources Office should be audited because they failed to properly staff, train, and monitor these teacher certifications. Where's the accountability? The school forces special needs children into an inclusive environment, such as general education classrooms, but does not provide the support or services the student needs to be successful. When the students are not behaving to the general education standards, they're then disciplined and labeled as problem children. This is the start of the pipeline to prison system for our Black and brown skinned special needs children. I'm requesting for Maryland State Department of Education to intervene in the Prince George's County Public Schools Special Education Program by conducting an extensive audit, holding them accountable with policies and laws, and restructuring the organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Next, I'd like to call Ms. Dixon to the table. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Paula Dixon. A month ago, I told the Prince George's County School Board the ways in which they were failing in their responsibilities, specifically regarding our child with special needs. But I won't repeat any of that, because the video went viral and was seen by 32,000 people on TikTok alone. Today, I'm on your side, because I see a future in which there is no public education in this country. But before we look forward, let's take a look back. During desegregation, there were counties across the South, like Prince Edward County, Virginia, that chose not to follow the law and allow Black students to learn next to white. Instead, from 1959 to 1965, they simply closed all of their public schools. White children were given grants and allowances to attend private and parochial all-white schools. And there is a generation of Black residents in that county who are illiterate to this day because they were robbed of their educational rights. What is happening in America today is simply a slow-motion version of the exact same tactics. As the caregiver of a Black 6-year-old with autism and ADHD in PG County, who was essentially told last year by the staff at Whitehall Elementary that our only option would be to homeschool, and having heard the exact same sentiments echoed across the internet by parents with the same experiences, I see the writing on the wall. Here's their plan. Step 1. Force all special needs students to homeschool. Step 2, ban books and bring religion into the classroom to force parents who disagree to also homeschool. Step 3, close Black and brown schools citing poor infrastructure, chronic absenteeism, and safety. Step 4, with few left attending public schools, they will be universally shuttered. Deserving children, aka white and Christian, will be given grants and allowances to go to private and parochial schools. Sound familiar? As a billionaire's adult offspring said to my face just this summer, why do you need to learn how to read if you're just going to work in a factory? I know you all are chained to a system that is drowning. So I ask you, school board, parents, anyone who's watching, has the time not finally come to revolt against this system itself? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.